So if you want to take our set lists and rub them on your go right ahead.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Down Once More with Matt and Raley. This time,
I'm back.
I didn't forget it either, so that's we're a step ahead of where we were last time.
I appreciate that.
I try to include you when I can. This week we got all the randomness, all the fun stuff that you've come to know and hate. Raley, how are you doing? First and foremost.
I'm doing great. I think we're actually recording this maybe like 30 minutes earlier than we usually do. So I'm like,
yeah.
I should clarify, we normally start at like midnight my time.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time we finish recording, it's often in the wee hours of the morning. So we're actually starting around 11 my time tonight. So
it's like professionals.
Maybe, I know, right? Maybe I'll get an extra hour of sleep tonight, but then again, maybe not. Maybe this will be your opportunity to just extend everything and talk a lot more and still have me in the wee hours of the morning. So I guess we'll find out, but I'm doing really great other than that disparity. But I think it's going to be good. I think we're starting off earlier, which means maybe I'll be a little bit more intellectual. Clearly not, because I can't finish that sentence. So obviously the extra hour is not helping that much. How are you?
Well, I'm good. You know, in actuality, people come. That's why they come to this podcast. Is because they want to feel intellectual. So that's why they come here.
Definitely.
No, I was really fired up, and I'm like, I'm going to go on an old school rant on the vocal warmups. And I just watched this week's episode of Succession. Third episode of the final season, and it just kind of drained me of all my energy. It's one of those, emotional. But no,
got all the feels.
I'm gonna bring the fire. I have a stiff drink, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
And I just took a sip of it like a second ago. It was the first sip that I've taken, and that was a mistake because I didn't test it before we started recording. And I realize now that I have made a pretty foul drink.
What is it?
So I forgot to go to the liquor store. Shame. And the only thing we have is Pisco.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah. Well, it's a Peruvian liquor. And it is... You've never had a Pisco Sour?
Mm-mm.
No, that's a cocktail that I guess we have in Miami because it's like a Latin thing, or South American thing. Anyway, it's Peruvian. It's very, very, very strong. It's like I would say it's in the vodka realm. It's super strong. And I mixed it with Coke, which isn't really what it's supposed to be meant. It's not meant to be mixed with that. And it is not delicious, but it is strong. So we will see how this goes into a steady decline pretty soon.
Okay. Little behind the curtains. We record this one and then our musical recap same night. So if that one's off the rails, you know it's because
because we started 1 hour earlier and I had the strongest drink anyone's ever made.
That's right.
So buckle up, folks.
Go up. All right.
Let's do this.
So
get comfy
for vocal warm-ups. How we typically kick these off. Do you want to go first? Want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Or you choose. Okay.
I'll go first, and then you can go first for the second half of this.
I had edited. It's one of those where I have a list of like 8 things. My vocal warm-ups is already bad.
Dear God.
I underlined 3, so I think I know which ones I'm going to talk about. But
I don't think I've ever underlined anything in my iPhone notes. I don't think anyway, but yeah.
I take excessive
very
notes
lengthy.
For everything. And so I've started like underlining and bolding. Yeah. Because
mine are very lengthy. It's not typical for me. I usually give like 1 bullet point, but this is this is going to be hard to fit this in 60 seconds, but we'll see how it works.
Okay. Well, that's why we play fast and loose with these, and then you have 60 seconds, and then we discuss it for like 5 minutes afterwards. So,
so the 60 seconds is really pointless. But anyway, yes. All right. Tell me when you go. All right.
Ready. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so I recently discovered something called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, and it's really cool. You'll do this from now on. Whenever you have something that you introduced into your brain, like something you notice for the first time, and then suddenly you seem to like notice that everywhere, like you've never seen it before, but now it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, and now your brain is going to be latched onto that, and you're going to be thinking about it, and you're going to be noticing it. Second thing, I have been having some wicked sleep paralysis. I don't know if you've ever experienced sleep paralysis, but it is one of the most terrifying things you can possibly experience. And it's happening to me like every night. I'm certain at this point there is a demon lurking in the corners near my bed, waiting for me to drift off to sleep so that it can breathe on me when I cannot move and defend myself. It is terrifying. Third, I genuinely do not know how I ever went to an office to work. I work from home 100% of the time now, and it is the greatest gift humankind has ever given me. I never leave my house. Oh, that was like 61 seconds. It's pretty good.
Yeah, a couple seconds over. That's pretty good for how thorough
for how
your notes
much
were.
I wrote there.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I know.
Dude, you into sleep paralysis. You need to get like an exorcism or something, because I remember like a year or more ago when I was talking to you, you were dealing with it too.
Yes, that's right. I talked to you about this, and I remember you sent me a meme or something that was like an actual, like somebody drew like a picture of a demon in the corner, I think. Like you sent me something that was like, oh yeah, here you go. Here's your sleep paralysis demon. I swear to God.
That doesn't seem helpful to me.
well, you are an especially unhelpful human. In general.
That's fair.
That is just fair. Who you are. But no, have you ever had sleep paralysis? Has that ever happened to you? Dear God.
Like,
I hope
I've had
by telling you about
but
this,
not that shit.
It's so scary. You're like not asleep, but you're asleep enough that your brain goes into this other realm, and you cannot move. Like it makes your whole body rigid and literally paralyzed. Like you can't even move your head. You can't talk. You can't scream. But every time, it's different for everybody. But for me, and apparently this is a common thing because I've seen a lot on the internet about it. I feel immediately like there's a presence, like sitting very close to me, staring at me. Sometimes I hear growling sounds, but I can't turn my head to look at it or to like talk to it or like make sure that it's not there. So that growing anxiety makes it worse. And the more you try to struggle against this paralysis, the worse it gets. So the only way to escape it is to make yourself go like, okay, this is a dream. This is not real. Like, and you have to like breathe and like it's like psych yourself out of it, which is so hard to do when you're in fight or flight mode and you can't fucking move. It is, oh my God, something's wrong with my brain. But I'm glad that I'm not the only person that deals with this, because apparently it's a real thing that like a lot of people with anxiety actually go through. And even like if you don't have anxiety that you've been diagnosed with, if you have like a lot of stress in your life or something bothers you a lot, it can affect how you sleep. And apparently sleep paralysis is a common side effect for people who are under a lot of stress. I don't recommend it. It is legitimately terrifying.
I have a friend who wasn't quite the same thing, but it was with their depression or anxiety meds. They switched. It was either doses or when they took it, and they started having that where when they were laying in bed, it wasn't like the paralysis part wasn't kicked in, but it was just like seeing like a presence like in the room and being freaked out and stuff like that. Like that stuff is freaky. It's like you find it's one of those things that's you have to find if people who take medication for that. It's always risky because like depression, anxiety ones, it's like, hey, this will either help your mood or it'll make you want to kill yourself even more.
Right. Exactly. You always see those like those depression commercials for like pharmaceuticals, and they're like side effects are like may include suicidal thoughts. They're like, the fuck? That's what you're supposed to be fucking curing. Yeah. How is that a possible side effect? Yeah. You're doing the thing that I need you to not do.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It's scary. It's scary.
It's really scary. So yeah, it's I also think that maybe there's also a whole like group of people out there that believe that when you go into this world of sleep paralysis, that you're actually tapping into another realm of like the spiritual. So, you know, if you're a person who believes in like phantoms or ghosts or spirits or the spiritual world or mediums and all of that stuff, there's a whole like belief system out there that says that like those of us who have sleep paralysis are actually hypersensitive to the spiritual world, and that we're actually visiting that realm. And that's why we feel those presences, because it's like super common for people to feel that way if they are in having sleep paralysis, that they feel there's some sort of presence or a demon or some like evil thing that's near them, lurking near, that's trying to kill them. That's one belief, you know. Maybe I am like being like legit visited by some demons. So
now,
please leave me alone, okay? I don't want to hurt you. You don't want to hurt me. We can just go our separate ways. I swear to God, we'll be fine. I mean, not to God, because maybe you don't believe in God. But maybe you're like at other side and say, I swear to Satan. I don't know. I'm going to shut up now. I'm taking myself into a deeper hole.
Now, could it be your house?
Really wrong.
Have you had the sleep paralysis at a different place or only at this place? 2
places in my life. My apartment in Miami Beach, which is when I talked to you about it a year ago, and this place. And here also during the day, I swear there's a ghost in my house, because I work upstairs in my office. And whenever I go up there, I hear somebody moving around in my kitchen, opening and closing drawers, somebody coming up and down the stairs, and there's nobody home but me. So I'm convinced there's an actual ghost in this house. So maybe that's the same ghost that's visiting me at night, and it just has like, it's just making itself known. Yeah, well, you know, it doesn't show up until I'm alone. Yes, I sleep in full nighties.
You were asking for it.
Oh my God. Oh shit. We're going to get into that discussion? I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think you want to go down that road.
I'm just making fun of it.
Anywho, are you ready to do your thingamajiggers? What are they called? You know, the thing?
Yes. I have my
60 seconds on the clock. The 3 underlying
hard
things.
For me to do in 60 seconds because I also
believe
have
in you.
A lot of things.
Just try to be succinct.
Okay, I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, everyone needs to stop being fucking weird online. Stop worshiping celebrities, politicians. They don't give a fuck about you. They're just showing you what they want you to see and what are presenting you. Stop defending people that you don't fucking know what they do that's not online. It's weird. Stop it. Cut it out. Don't worship people you don't know or people you do know. No one deserves to be worshipped. Knock it the fuck off. Second, my $700 chair is squeaky as fuck. And I commented, reached out to support, and they told me to video me showing the steps to redistribute it, which is raising it up and down 10 times and spinning slowly in a circle clockwise and counterclockwise 5 times. And I'm convinced that that's just how they have fun in their customer support. So I'm like, I'm not fucking videoing myself going up and down and round and round in this fucking chair. Third, one of the funniest things going on right now is people boycotting Bud Light because they now have a trans spokesperson, and they're like, we're going to go with Coors Light. Coors Light is way more like pro LGBTQ than Bud Light, and they already have your fucking money. Okay. Like, that's one of the funniest things.
Oh my God, the snowflakes right getting so mad.
Everyone's like, oh, I'm going to shoot all this Bud Light. Well, you already gave them your fucking money. You may as well drink the beer and get drunk. And it's like, every other, like I saw one thing was posting every other like major one, like Coors Light, Miller Lite, like Sam Adams, all these things are doing like their pride ads and stuff like that. It's like they all do the same thing.
I mean,
it's just so fucking funny.
And it's so funny because the group of people that are angry about Bud Light having rainbows on their cans are the target audience for Bud Light. So it's really funny because it's like, you guys have supported this brand of shit beer probably your whole adult life and probably some of your pre-adult life. Now, all of a sudden, the values of the brand matter to you. You don't care if you drink shit, pissy beer, but now you care if the values of the brand, which may or may not actually be real values. They're just, at this point, they could easily just be pandering.
Marketing department's values, Right.
Like, you know, they could easily just be like, guys, this is a trend we need to jump on if we want to get this crowd to drink our beer. The problem is this crowd over here is the one that drinks your beer. And they're the ones that are going to be pissed off about it. So either you get with it and you drink the beer that you like anyway, or you just shut the fuck up, because who cares?
It's just,
who cares if your beer can likes gay people? I don't understand why that matters. You're drinking shit beer regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was Kevin Sorbo was like, I preferred Busch Light anyways. It's like they're owned by Anheuser-Busch as well. It's the same
Busch,
fucking
the name
company.
is Busch.
It's the same people.
It's not even an American beer, by the way. People are always like, this is America. It's my American beer.
Yeah.
Budweiser is not an American company.
Nope. It's one of the funniest things right now. And
it's so bad.
This wasn't one of my 3 things, but part of it's because Twitter fucking sucks now. Like, it is so fucking bad. Like, all I am getting is either I'll go one day and it's everything like super like MAGA, all that stuff. Then the next day's the super hardcore, like liberal, like it just goes back and forth. And I'm like, I have muted certain accounts so many times and they keep showing up. And I'm like, stop.
Yeah. It's fucking Elon's bullshit.
I'm so over like social media in general. There's just so much fucking shit. It sucks.
Yeah.
People suck. People just be normal. Like, I'm not saying you can't be unique and be weird, but like, be normal about normal things. Like, you do you, and that's awesome. Don't try to be violent with everything. Don't try, like, the biggest thing, like with the Bud Light, it's for the people that are anti-cancel culture. It's the exact same thing. You're just calling it anti-woke. You are doing the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Exactly. It's the same. You're canceling woke.
So stupid.
I don't even get me started
on... realize this.
Don't get me started on Ron DeSantis and what he's doing to Florida. I don't even want to, like, I can't even, because we will be here all night and I will get really angry. But the whole anti-woke thing it's gone from being funny to being like, holy shit.
This
is really bad. This is really, really bad.
Yeah.
It's getting like, now we're affecting like the education system and like what we can and can't teach our kids. And that is, So like I said, I don't want to talk about that because I will be here all night and I'll get really pissed off. But the whole, and I agree with you about people idolizing celebrities. I have seen so many responses and comments and stuff of people being on posts either by celebrities or posts like a BuzzFeed about a celebrity and about what they did this weekend or whatever. And then people like randos like Joe Schmo will come in and be like, she's not like that, okay? She wouldn't do that because she's not the kind of person to do it. Like, the fuck do you know about what she will not, does or does not do, think, see, hear, smell, feel,
all the things,
participate in? You don't. Like, you saw a movie with her in it, which, by the way, is called acting.
Well,
acting. It's not her. It's not him. That's not the real person. And by the way, social media isn't either.
Exactly.
It's a representation of
that's what you do.
And most of it is now celebrities mostly put up things that they're paid to put up. It's not even real shit. They're like paid advertising fees to put shit on their social media. That has nothing to do with, oh my God.
Yeah.
So stupid.
It's
so fucking stupid.
And it's just, don't get like the creepiest things are like certain like the Stan fan accounts on like Twitter and stuff that someone either pretending like to be the celebrity or they're so fucking obsessed with it. It's like this person has to have a murder wall in their house.
Oh yeah.
And it's so much of this stuff is scary and I am getting so
I just understood. I just now got the Stan fan reference. That's the Eminem thing. I just realized what you're talking about. That's a really great reference though, because it's perfect.
Yeah.
For the people who, if you still wrote letters, you would write them 3 letters a day, 70 letters a week.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's scary, man. Like, just so much of the stuff on social media, and people just feel so comfortable behind a fake profile that, and just feel like there's no consequences. They could say whatever the fuck they want. And it's like,
and they can. There is no consequences, so they can.
Like, people in stupid fucking TikTok trends, the swatting or calling in like bomb threats. I had my fucking 6-year-old niece's school went on lockdown because there were kids made threats that they had a gun in the high school in town, and then left the school. It was locked down. Like, this shit is fucking stupid.
Oh my God.
I'm over it.
That's
and people
that's
do
fucking crazy.
whatever they
that's
can
terrible.
for likes, and like things we've seen going on the rounds are like the influencers that like stage videos like they're at a restaurant and being super difficult and like shit like that. At least I hope it's staged.
They're at
like
a restaurant and they see somebody next to them who pretends to have a disability and like can't eat, and then that person who's videoing it is like, let me go over here and help you to eat your food. Poor certain person who's faking a fucking disability.
Right.
There's so many layers of wrong in that. So many layers.
If you want to do something nice, to me, the second you film it is when it loses all credibility to me. Because
what kills me is that there's so many.
Like, that's what's fucked with my head now, is that if you are filming it and doing it, I wonder, like, are you just doing that for the likes? Like, do you 100%. Actually want to help that person? Or you're like, hey, this is going to get so much engagement and a million views.
Right. And the people who are actually out there doing good, they're not on social media, like, pretending like they're doing, like, they're actually helping people. And what kills me is that on those videos that I'm talking about where somebody's helping somebody, it's fake. It's so clearly fake. And then you see comment after comment after comment of people being like, wow, you're such a good person. Yeah,
that's the other thing.
Still
people
good
are
in
fucking
humanity.
Stupid.
Like, I wish everyone was as sweet as you and as kind and as giving. And I'm like, you are feeding the goddamn motherfucking beast. Stop. You're fueling this fire with your stupidity.
Yep.
Stop it. Stop. Okay. Rant over. And I did all those spinning and up and down things, by the way, and the chair still fucking squeaks. They said that to redistribute the lube. And realistically, they're like, if it still squeaks, you can let us know, and we can send you a new hydraulic tube, but you'll have to disassemble part of the chair to send it back. And so most likely what's going to happen... Oh, it's like an $800 chair. They don't want to do that. If it's an $800 chair, it shouldn't fucking squeak.
That's what I say. I also thought it was going to be a lot more comfortable. I'm a sucker for good advertisements. Their advertisements were top notch. And the chair, I'm sure it'll last well, but it shouldn't be this fucking squeaky.
It is. Yeah,
luckily,
well, those
the
are
mic
first world
doesn't
problems.
pick it up. Yeah.
Those are some serious
Speaking of people
problems.
suck.
Oh my God, my $800 chair is so squeaky.
I mean, I did get it on sale, so I didn't spend that much.
I need a new chair, but please don't send me the link for the $800 one because I will be stupid and I will buy it, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's why I did. Don't do it. All right. So usually this would be the time where we do our pick 3. And so I told Raley a couple things. One, I didn't like 3. I wanted to make it 5. Because for this week we're going to be doing guilty pleasures, and I'll get more into that in a minute. I'm like, 3 is just so few, and on these episodes now, where pretty much all this episode is the vocal warm-ups and pick 3, pick 5, whatever, or a draft. I'm like, well, 3 is short. That gets it done quick. This isn't a mini episode. It's what both of us here want to give the people what they want. More of both of us together. More fun. And I've stated multiple times that I think the name Pick 3 sucks. And I've asked our listeners and fans to help us come up with something new. But you all aren't creative either, apparently. And tonight, I had an epiphany while I was showering. I want to call them set lists.
Set lists.
It's kind of musical related. It's music related. That way, if depending on what the topic is or what we're discussing, if we want it to be 3, if we want it to be 5, if we want it to be 10, there's not a number set to it. Everything we're doing is a list. So I don't know. That's my spitball thing that I thought to call it set list.
I like the set list idea. I need to warm up to it, but I like it. It makes me think of my high school days when I would go to these like rinky-dink little like punk rock concerts where like probably I knew the guy from high school who was the lead singer or like the drummer, and I was like, oh my god, your band is like so good, and really they just fucking sucked, but you really thought they were good because you liked that person. And there would always be a fight at the end of the night. The band would like crumple up their set list and like, or like kiss it or something dramatic and like throw it into the crowd, and like the girls would be like, oh my god, I got this set list and it has this on it. Oh my god, I'm gonna go home and like rub it on my panties or something. I don't know. But yeah, so that's what that made me think of. Funny,
rubbing it on your panties.
So if you want to take our set lists and rub them on your panties, go right ahead. If you feel like rubbing. Just
be warned, I'm the one who checks the DMs, not Raley, so I'd rather you don't have your dick involved.
Send them anyway, because I would love for Matt to be the one that opens a dick pic for once in his life.
Hey, let's not try to encourage people to send us dick pics, preferably.
I've seen enough random dicks in my life, and not by choice, that I can do without the extra DMs.
I was homeschooled, and I usually don't work out, so I have avoided quite a few random dicks. So I'm fine keeping it that way. The number of random penises I've seen at
keeping it below in the single digits.
Yeah. I mean, does porn count as seeing random penises?
Yes, it does.
Okay, we're way.
But we'll get. We're off track now.
Okay,
we're off track now.
The set list
going in the wrong direction
for this week. Guilty pleasures. So we're going to do a total of 5 things. Guilty pleasures. Speaking of porn. So we got 1 song, 1 movie, and 1 TV show, and then the other 2 in your list of 5 can be kind of wild cards. It can be another song. It can be a whole entire band if you want. It can be another movie, another TV show. You can do food. You can do a fetish. I don't give a fuck. You can do whatever you want. So that's
go for it.
That's the list. And because I am a gentleman, I will let you go first, and let's do it where we do song first, then movie, then TV show, and then our wild cards. So we'll both give our song. I'll help with the graphics too. Okay. We'll keep them in the same order.
Just being lazy at this point.
I am, dude.
No, you do all
the graphics and everything. I get lazy.
To call you lazy.
That's fair. No, that means it's not okay to call me lazy.
Exactly. That's exactly why I said it.
Okay. So let's hear it. Right. Yeah, it's
okay.
I'm an old person, so this is like my midnight. Yeah, your song first. Let's get your guilty pleasure song.
Okay. All right. I'm embarrassed by this one, but I'm gonna go for it.
Do it.
My guilty pleasure song is a song that I blast in my car when nobody's looking because I love to sing it. And I'm just going to say it because I'm not ashamed of myself. My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion, because I get all up in my feels when I sing that song.
That's a banger.
Don't fucking judge me because I think about Jack and how he should have fucking died because there was plenty of fucking room in that door. Could have both survived.
That's true.
Killed it. But anyway, I love Celine Dion's voice. I think she has a phenomenal voice. Duh. That's not that's just a fact. That's not an opinion.
That is a fact.
And when I sing that song in the shower, in the car, in my head during my emotional moments. It makes me cry. And I love it. And it's so fun to sing because you can like belt it out. So it is also my like sometimes my go-to karaoke song because it's a good one for karaoke. Everybody knows it and you can get into it and be really cheesy with it. So yeah, that's my song.
I like it. See, I kind of thought
old Celine.
For similar reasons, I thought about like I Would Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf, but I'm like, I only know the chorus. Like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you the verse of that song. So, but that's one of those, like the chorus of that one's just one you want to sing. But that's a great song. I feel like that's one that's not super embarrassing.
I want to know what he won't do.
Anal.
What, the Meatloaf one or the Celine one?
Meatloaf won't get pegged is what he will not do for love. The Celine Dion one I feel like is pretty I feel like that's not that embarrassing. You could have gone worse. Feel like
I mean, yeah. I could have gone with like a song that my
That is a great
loves.
song though. And it's one of those that's like you said,
it's a ballad.
People hate on it and I don't know why. Maybe that's why I'm going to find out. I'm like, oh man, people think these are guilty pleasures. This is what's on my regular playlist.
I don't feel guilty at all.
Right.
Okay, tell me what your guilty pleasure song is so that I will feel less guilty about my guilty pleasure.
Oh, mine is much more embarrassing. Mine is going to be 7 Things by Miley Cyrus. Old school Miley Cyrus. 7 Things I Hate About You. So catchy.
It is really fucking catchy though. Like, it's a bop. You're like, I gotta dance to this. Yeah. And it gets stuck in your head and you're still grooving to it like an hour or two later. You're like, damn it, still in there. Yep. You wanna perform a bar or two for us?
I mean, not particular. Nah.
Damn it.
It's a trap. One of my other ones I might. But I have not drank enough yet to bust into Miley. I will admit Miley is up there. And Miley's
she has some good catchy tunes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She does.
I don't like her as a human being. I find her a bit grotesque. But I gotta admit that some of those fucking songs she does, that one makes me like want to like.
See, Wrecking Ball isn't one of my favorites.
Sing it. I hated the video, but I really like that song.
See, as a pervert, I like the video kind of more than the song.
Of course you did. I just thought it was so fucking stupid. Like, it was just like,
it is very
I had
dumb.
no problem with the female form. I'm like, the fuck are you doing naked on a wrecking ball? I don't
understand.
Like,
that's
you're
not
just
OSHA
doing
safe.
that.
Right.
Because you want to be naked on a wrecking, like, and I get that. That's fine. I'm not going to judge you. I've always dreamed of being naked on a wrecking ball, blasting through construction sites. It is a fantasy for most women, I would say.
That's what I've been told.
But until I saw her do it, I never thought anyone would ever actually it would come to fruition for anyone. But she made that happen. And that's what happens when you have millions of dollars. You can do whatever the hell you want.
Mm-hmm.
But I find her like when she shows up she's better now, but there was a period of time when she would show up and just have her tongue out all the time and just be like grinding on people. And I'm like,
yeah,
what the fuck is going on with your brain? It's not cute.
True.
Whatever you think you look like, you don't look. Like if you think you look cute or like hardcore or like badass or like this cool chick or like sexy as fuck, none of those things. You look none of those things. Try again. And she did. And now she's better. And I like her a little bit more better.
That's right.
A little bit more now.
A sad day.
Yeah, cool. That's
Apple Music doesn't have a karaoke version of 7 Things. Did you know, like, on the newer phones, they have on Apple Music, you can do karaoke versions. We can raise it. They don't. They don't even have the lyrics. I keep getting updates
on my phone that are like, you can do this now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's weird. That's one of the ones that they like definitely should have. You would think they would have. But maybe it has something to do with the rights.
Old school Miley. Maybe. The 7 things I hate about
anyway.
you. You're hanging. Good song. Okay. Do movie
sing
next.
a little bit of it. It worked.
Movie.
Okay. Movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is my guilty pleasure movie, and it is a movie that I watch. It's also my hangover movie. Like, I watch it when I'm hungover because I like to be in a dark room, and I close the shade, turn all the lights off, and I play this movie. So it just came out of my mouth. Play this movie when I want to feel good, and it makes me feel good, even though it's cheesy as fuck. It's Burlesque. With Christina Aguilera and Cher.
Nice.
It is cringy as fuck. So cringy. But the dancing and just the music. And I mean, Christina's got such a fucking set of pipes on her. She can do anything, even if it's cringy, and it still sounds amazing and still looks amazing. And some of the choreography in that movie is terrible, but some of it is really good. And it makes me just want to be up there on stage, singing and dancing with those girls. So it really legitimately makes me wish that I could join a burlesque club somewhere and do what they do. Have you seen the movie?
I have not seen the movie, actually. I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point. I was
going to say, we could add it to our list.
I was at this point where we're doing this podcast, for the most part, if there's a musical I haven't seen, I'm like, well, I want to wait and watch it before, like, whenever we do an episode, so then I can have fresher hot takes. But one of the podcasts I listened to, How Did This Get Made? That's got some actors and comedians. It's Paul Scheer, Jason Mantzoukas, and June Diane Raphael. Jason Mantzoukas he's hilarious. He's from The League, so is Paul Scheer and some other people. But they watch bad movies and talk about them. And they did, I think it was their first episode ever was on Burlesque. And so I know some of the things on that. And that, I love that podcast. That's one of the ones I listen to. They just watch bad movies, or movies that they're like, we acknowledge these are bad, but we think they're fucking awesome. Like the Fast and Furious movies. They're like, these movies suck, but they're so bad, fun. Good. Right. Yeah. And so it's pretty entertaining. That's how I watched Leprechaun in the Hood. How Did This Get Made is the name of the podcast.
I'll have to check that out, because that sounds like my thing. It's like a different take on Mystery Science Theater. Yeah. But like a more modern version of it.
Yeah. And it's more fun if you've watched the movie and know some of the things that they're talking about in it. Like they recently did The Number 23, which that movie was one. It's with Jim Carrey, and it's like a thriller horror kind of. And I watched it when I was in like junior high, and I thought it was so good. And I recently watched it, and it did not age well. I'm like, this movie is rough. It's not great. But I enjoyed the podcast, and when they discussed the episode on Leprechaun in the Hood is so good. And it made me watch Leprechaun in the Hood, and I'm so glad I did. So funny.
It's a hilarious name.
Yeah.
So Burlesque is good stuff. You should watch it sometime. If you want to just you want some feel goodsies and some hot girls dancing on the stage, somewhat naked. They're not like, it's not like stripper music. It's like,
it's not showgirls.
Naked. No, exactly.
Good to know.
It's good though. I mean, it's good. It's good, bad. It's bad, good.
Okay.
Okay, your turn. What's your movie?
Well, I'm bad, and I have like 4 movies, so I have to decide which one.
No,
I'm gonna go with Never Back Down. So this is a movie.
I don't know what that is.
So it has a fantastic soundtrack of like rock from when I was growing up. It is about this one kid who moves to a town, and they do like underground MMA fights, and it has Amber Heard in it. This was before her bed shitting days.
Oh God.
And so it's got Jimon Honsu in it, who he's a really good actor, but the rest of the people in this are not great. The script is not great. It is very cheesy. It does not make a whole lot of sense that these rich kids, they just have like full underground MMA tournaments, beat the shit out of each other. And the dialogue's so fucking bad. But the soundtrack is awesome. The camera work and some of the MMA scenes that they do is pretty solid too. So that is going to be my movie one. It's one of those that it's like objectively, this is a bad movie, but I always enjoy it every time I watch it. It's one of those comfort movies.
Exactly. That is the point of having a guilty pleasure, right? You're like, I know I shouldn't like this, but it makes me feel good.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think in the case of Burlesque, Stanley Tucci is the person who is really good in it. He's the only one that's an actually good actor.
Yeah.
And so he like saves the day a lot of times in terms of how bad the movie is. You're like, oh, but he's still like really good.
Yep.
And you gotta love him. You just can't not love Stanley Tucci. But
yeah.
So I understand what you mean when you say that there's like one good actor and the rest of them are just bad and the movie is
pretty
bad.
rough.
But then there's that one person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, never back down. I'll have to add that to my list of things to watch.
It's fun. I don't know what it's on. It was on Netflix for a while. I don't know if it still is, but your turn for a TV show.
Okay. Oh, TV show is easy because I've been catching up on the latest season and now I'm all caught up. And I hate that I love it, but I love it. This new reality show, not new, it's a couple of years old actually. Love is Blind. Please tell me you have seen this.
I have not. It's on my list. I keep hearing things about it, especially this season and certain people that are pieces of shit. But
oh my God.
It is on my list. I have not watched it though.
So if anybody doesn't know the premise for this show, which I'm sure you all do, but Love is Blind is a show about people who date in what they call pods, and they're separated by a wall. And so they get to know the other person without ever seeing them. They just talk about the feelings and how they are and who they are and stuff. And so they have no idea what the other person looks like. But after X amount of days of dating, they narrow it down. And eventually some of them decide to get engaged, sight unseen. And then there's usually out of yeah, I know, right? Foolproof, fail-proof. It's going to work. But it's so just delicious to see. So there's out of 15 different potential couple matches, 3 or 4 of them end up engaged. So they find their person, right? They fall in love with this person. That's their soulmate. And they're like, I know that I love them because I've never seen them. So I can't be distracted by the physical. I'm in love with their soul because I talked to them for 6 hours total in the last 13 days. So then when they decide that they're going to get engaged, then they go on a trip together, having never spent any time together. They go Cabo or somewhere, shack up for a week. And then they move back to their hometown, wherever they're from. They move in together for 2 weeks. And at the end of the 2 weeks, they've known each other for a total of a month and a half. And they decide at the altar, they have a wedding ceremony. At the altar, they decide, yes, I want to marry you. Yes, I want to marry you. No, I don't want to marry you. Yes, I want to marry you. They have to both decide that that's a yes, and they both want to get married, and then they get married. At their wedding, they can say no. It's fantastic.
Of course.
It is so fucking good.
Not awkward at all.
Oh my God. And some of the people turn out to be the most horrifying humans that they're for those days in the pods, they're yeah, my family's really important to me. My kitty's really great. I just love giving. I just like to be a compassionate person. And then 3 weeks later, the day before their wedding, they're like, I fucking hate your fucking face. Everything you do is stupid. I want to fucking kick you. Holy shit. It's so good. It's so good. And now because caught up on the season, I'm upset because I have to wait for the next. I never do that. I usually wait until full seasons are out and then I binge them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weekly. I usually wait till the whole thing's out and I binge it, but I can't do that because I'm stupid. I got caught up on the season and now I have to wait to find out who's going to get married. And this week is the weddings, so it's actually down to the I do's or I do the fuck nots.
Okay.
So the drama's on. You have to check it out. I know you love reality shows about like matchups. I expect you to check it out and give me a full report on your findings.
Well, it's one of those that I'm debating because I'm like, my wife would probably like it, but I'm impatient. She's watching One Tree Hill for the first time now, and so she has been binging that on her tablet. So I'm usually just watching stuff on my own. But at a certain point, it gets to where like I'm just gonna watch it and I'll rewatch it if you want to watch it. That's what I did with something else that I'm gonna discuss on my pick.
I already know what your pick is gonna be.
Yeah. So
it is not a surprise. It is not going to be a surprise.
No, it would be disingenuous of me to pick anything other than Love Island UK for my guilty pleasure TV show.
What a surprise!
Seasons 2 through 5 of the UK one, and I'll be honest, I haven't watched the last 2 seasons of the UK one. I'm behind on those, but seasons 2 through 5
I'm shocked.
Are so goddamn good. And season 1's not bad, but none of the they're not characters, they're real people. None of the people in season 1 are likable. And so I'm sure you know, if you listen to our podcast, it gets discussed frequently. Love Island.
Many times.
Yes, it's discussed
Matt
a lot.
has brought up Love Island.
I love the show. It is these people, guys and girls, are on an island, resort, compound, basically, that's thrown together for this group. They have to couple up on day 1. Starting on day 1, they are sleeping in the same beds together. They're spending their time with each other. Every few days, there's a recoupling. They can couple up with someone else. New people get brought in. All this drama and shit. And it is just peak reality TV, especially the British version, where you get all the British swearing and slang. The first couple seasons, they are just smoking like none other, like constantly. And then I think it hit a point where they're like, hey, this is maybe bad for us to be portraying how commonly we're doing this and making it seem cool. Even though it looks really cool when you're smoking. Like, it's bad for you, but it looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
And so the first few seasons, like the first season, they're just showing straight up because there are cameras all around the villa they're staying in. So like 24/7 is filmed, and their production crew has to be fucking insane. Cause like I struggle to turn around this podcast sometimes in 2 days, and they are turning around an hour of television that they are just putting in like a day because it is aired like on a 24-hour delay, and the public votes for who stays in, who goes on dates with everyone. So the UK one is awesome, but you don't get the joy of voting. The US one now has moved to Peacock, so it's a little more adult rated. It was on CBS regular TV, and that sucked. That was a waste of time. But now it's on Peacock. Yeah. It was fun.
If you're gonna watch it, you're gonna want to watch the real stuff.
Yeah. I'm excited for this season.
Version.
I will be watching and voting. That I watch. Like, if the wife's busy, I'm sorry, I need to watch so I can vote. If there's
can you vote from America on the UK
they do.
Version?
They have a US one, so the UK one you can't. So,
okay.
But the US one has gotten significantly better since it was on Peacock. The Peacock season was good. I watched a couple of the CBS ones there. Right. It just adds more realness to it when they are allowed to swear versus the CBS one where everyone's like mellowed down and everything's censored. Like everything, like the UK one, granted, it had some issues starting out. Like mental health wise, there were multiple contestants who had committed suicide because
holy shit,
people over there, like, apparently they're like not the like gossip newspapers are just like brutal in the UK, and where every second of every day was recorded, and they would put out like sex stuff and stuff in the
really
earlier seasons. People would get so much hate, and there were a couple people that just couldn't take it because people suck, that's terrible, as we've talked about. And so now they have constant. The UK has, it's still really good, but it's mellowed out. Like, they don't show smoking, they don't show the sex stuff anymore. Like, I mean, there's still some, obviously, because you get views, but
they
like
show the like
first season, there's like
innuendo,
there's tits, there's people, you're watching them riding in night vision mode and shit like that. And so they've taken a lot of steps to help with the mental health of the contestants, because you think about something like that, you are for like 3 months you are just in this compound with like 12 people, and you have cameras on you everywhere you go constantly. And so it's like your mental health is going to take a step, but it's great television. I think season 3 is my favorite one, whichever one has Olivia and Zara, who is Miss GB. She's annoying as fuck, but that season is so good. It is like, that's the perfect reality TV season I need to figure out so I can recommend people. It's season 2 of Love Island UK. And I don't know if it's still on Hulu, but it was. There's like 50 episodes, but so good. It's my favorite. Loved it. So that's my guilty pleasure TV show.
And knew that was coming, but I'm so glad that you got to elaborate on it, because it's about time you had your moment. Your love is blind
usually
moment.
You tell me to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because usually it's way off topic and it has nothing to do with what we're saying on this podcast. But at least in this moment, you had your platform and you could speak on it. And I give you all the kudos. I did watch season 2 because you told me that you liked it so much, and I really liked it. I didn't fall in love with it like you did, but I liked it a lot. One
of the couples is still married and they just had a kid. So
that's proof that it's real life, and nothing about it is staged. Nothing about it is fake. It is not prodded and produced in any way.
Yeah, not at all. There's either 2 or 3 couples from that season that are still together, but wild card, Raley. So whatever the fuck you want it to be.
Wild card number 1 is an easy one. It's not that much of an embarrassing thing, but I have to talk about it because it's still a guilty pleasure for me. It's food, and it is McDonald's. McDonald's fries, especially the fries. I still like the tits. Like when I am actually, there's not even a precursor for that. Not like when I'm hungover or like when I'm feeling sad or like, no,
just anytime.
Really any old fucking time. But I don't like to do it when I'm around other people. So it's like a very like eating in the shadows type of guilty pleasure. I don't want anybody to know that I eat it, even though I just told everybody that I eat it. But I really, really like it.
Bad for you. And
it is bad for you.
It's expensive now.
I know, which makes me mad because it used to be the cheap thing to do. It used to be like the cheapest dinner you could have, and now it's like, holy shit. And also, I don't like that Cardi B has her own meal at McDonald's. That upsets me for no reason at all. It upsets me. That's
my Cardi B impression.
Scared me when you did that. Scared the shit out of me.
Just rip them off your head.
The fuck? Yeah, so I don't know. Like, I could just legitimately eat those French fries every single day. I swear. They are so good, especially when you have way too much salt on them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, why are they so good? But I think if I had to pick one thing that I'd have to eat every single day, I wouldn't have any trouble deciding. It would be McDonald's French fries. But not just French fries. It has to be McDonald's French fries, because not just any French fries are okay.
Are you a McNuggets, McChicken, McDouble, Big Mac? What's your accompaniment to the French fries typically?
I love just the plain old cheeseburger, man. I go straight up cheeseburger, but I get the meal that has 2 of them so I can be an extra glutton and eat 2 cheeseburgers and a large fry because I am a fat ass and I love to eat it.
Well, you can't
I always feel like shit
anymore.
After No, you can't. Thanks a lot, Supersize Me.
That's right.
Fucking documentary garbage. I also feel like garbage after I eat it. Like, I always feel like shit. Like, there's no doubt that it has all kinds of horrifying things in it.
Oh, I'm sure.
And my stomach is like, fuck you. What have you done to me? But I'm like, just get ready, baby, because you're going to have it again soon.
Mm-hmm.
Digest the shit out of that so we can go back.
Mm-hmm.
That's so good, though. All right, let's hear your first wild card. Go for it.
My first wild card is going to be another TV show.
Okay.
And it is going to be High School Musical, the series. Yep, it's on Disney+.
I didn't even know there was a series. So
this is how Olivia Rodrigo became popular from this series.
Interesting.
It takes place, these kids go to the same high school that High School Musical was filmed at. So it's supposed to be like the real world.
So it doesn't have Zac Efron and all the Selena, whatever her name is, Gomez or whatever.
Nope, it's set in like the real world. And so they go to the actual East High School where that was filmed. And so they always reference the movie and stuff like that. Oh. And the first season is they are going to do a production of High School Musical. And so there's some parallel storylines with forbidden love and stuff like that. And it has some really good original songs. It has a song in it called A Billion Sorries that almost was my guilty pleasure song because it sucks so bad. It's not a good song, but it's very catchy. And so that series, season 1, I thought was great. Season 2, I thought kind of sucked. Season 3 was pretty good. So I'm coming back around. Like season 1 is they're putting on this drama group at the high school is putting on High School Musical. Season 2, they do Beauty and the Beast. So it pulls songs in from that. And season 3 is they are at a summer camp and they are doing Frozen.
Interesting.
So there's songs from that pulled in along with some other ones.
It's on Disney Plus?
It's on Disney Plus. It's made for kids. Like, it's a kid's show.
You mean like High School Musical is made for
like
kids?
High School
because
Musical.
It's about high schoolers?
But see, that one, I was a kid when it came out. So it's slightly more acceptable. But this, like, it's fun. It's lighthearted. The songs are catchy. It's got some good original songs in it. And so that's my first wild card is another TV show. That's what it is.
You have to look up, if you haven't seen it, you have to look up High School Musical without the music. Have you seen these videos of just like, and it's a guy doing a voiceover, but he's actually saying the words from the songs from High School Musical, but he's like, the Zac Efron, I don't remember the guy's name, but his buddy on the basketball
Corbin
team.
Blue.
Yeah, him.
Corbin Blue's in season 3 of High School Musical, the series.
And it's like, he's just saying the words from the song and matching with it, but it's without the music and then making all these sounds whenever they jump around. It's like
one of those.
Like when they're jumping and dancing
on the basketball court too.
Yes.
Doing that song. Okay, I think I have seen that now.
That one, and then the one where they're in the I think it's the 2 of them in a garage, like working on a car or something. I don't know what that scene was.
Yeah, I think
in
that
some other place.
One season.
Anyway,
I mean one of the movies.
Right. It's so good. If you haven't seen it, check it out because it made me laugh so hard. But yeah, good choice. All right, my second wild card, last thing. Guilty pleasure. Instead of going with a band or a song, I just went with an entire genre of music / guilty pleasure playlist because it is a playlist in my music, but it's also just because it's a genre.
I respect that.
I cannot live my life without 90s music, 90s pop music. Like I'm talking about and I have a playlist, so it is like all of the hits, right? I'm talking about boy bands, Backstreet Boys, my fave, all-time fave. But we're talking about everything, like No Scrubs by TLC, like My Own Worst Enemy by Lit. Got Mariah Carey singing, what's her name? What's the song called? Always Be My Baby. Destiny's Child, Say My Name. all the hits. Oh, and Savage Garden. Holy shit. Savage Garden. I only know
Truly, Madly, Deeply.
Well, that's the only one you need to know. But the other one that says like Chick with Cherry Cola. That one. Forgot what it's called.
Okay.
I don't mean no eyes, and if I can be to the place when I close my eyes, and if it's that song. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that one. That one.
I don't know what he says except for Chick with Cherry Cola. That's all I know.
Nice.
But
have you seen the video of all
music?
I think it's like British guys in a pub singing Truly, Madly, Deeply, like a cappella?
No.
Oh, that makes the rounds on social media every once in a while. It's just like there's like 20 guys at a pub and they start singing, like the first 5 guys sing the beginning of it. I'll be your dream, I'll be your wish. They got like their accents, and then the next row of people stand up and sing it, and then they're all singing. It's so good. I love it.
I'll find that because Savage Garden it still hits for me. I think. I was talking about Christina Aguilera earlier. Mm-hmm. I've had a whole 90s themed night. I had Celine Dion.
You really have?
In the 90s. Christina Aguilera from Burlesque. And now I'm talking about 90s play. I didn't even put that together when I was putting my list together, but Christina, like Genie in a Bottle.
Is your guilty pleasure.
I am just like, I think I'm just stuck. I just never evolved out of the 90s. I am stuck and I shall never, ever move forward. This is why I'm a millennial, and I'm always going to tell people, like, in the Gen Y and the Gen Zs, I'm going to be like, look, you just don't know how good our music was, okay? You'll never appreciate really good music because you didn't have Backstreet Boys.
That's right.
But now, how can you not love, like, I want it that way?
Well, that was going to be my question. You said you're a Backstreet Boys girl.
Yes.
If you have to put I Want It That Way and Bye 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 by NSYNC, does I Want It That Way win? I feel like those are like just neck and neck for me. I feel like I need both of those.
That is so hard. That's why they're both on my playlist. But I have to say, well, I don't know if I can pick one. It depends on what mood I'm in. If I'm in a dancey mood, it's Bye 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 all day. But if I'm in a, like, I want to feel the music and have some emotions and sing with heart, passion, then it's I Want It That Way, right? Like, I don't think I can pick. Overall, even though JT went on to do his thing and he's amazing and he's clearly the best talent out of that group.
Oh,
even though
absolutely.
He did that and made something of himself afterward, and even though when I was there in the 90s, I loved them both, and I had a Justin Timberlake picture poster on my wall, and I had a Backstreet Boys poster on my wall. They were both part of my repertoire. I still think Backstreet Boys, the Millennium album, was my fave.
So many good things on that.
And ultimately, NSYNC, they made more money, but Backstreet Boys was more worldwide, like known worldwide, and like they started it all. They were first. NSYNC came after. So for me, it's like they were like the OGs of boy bands. You know,
everybody.
Hey, yeah, rock your body. Yeah. I mean, how could you hate that? It's just so good.
It's fair. I was going to ask your thoughts on Ryan Cabrera, but he was 2000s. So.
Oh, yeah, he was. But I loved him.
On the way down. I went to a concert that was him, Secondhand Serenade, and some other people. And it was such a good show. I loved it.
It's so good. It's so emo. I love it.
Yep.
I love it. I was such an emo girl in high school. I was just like, all the emo music was my thing. And I just drove around in my car. When I finally learned how to drive, I drove around in my car and listened to sad music. And I was like, this is life. Okay.
That's what Secondhand Serenade was perfect for that. Because literally every single Secondhand Serenade song is a sad song.
It is a sad emo song. They were so good at it. So good. And Dashboard Confessional, are you kidding me?
Vindicated. I am selfish.
I am wrong. I am right. I swear I'm right. I swear I knew it all along, and I am
flawed. But I am cleaning up so well. I
am myself,
so
and I am okay. Right. Enough on that. But yeah, so my last one, my last guilty pleasure is all of the 90s.
like it.
Everything that happened in the 90s. I
appreciate you taking a loophole, because I usually try to exploit loopholes. So I appreciate that you did it here.
He's not going to expect this.
I'm going to applaud you.
I'm going to incorporate everything that I love into one category so that I can have all the things that I
was smart. I did say it could be anything for the wild cards.
You did.
Mine is going to be stepsister porn. No, I'm just kidding. It is going to be
Jesus Christ.
No, it's not going to be Jesus Christ either. It is going to be pleasure. It is going to be early days Joe Bros. So Jonas Brothers, not them now. I don't like the new Jonas Brothers. Give me the old school where they're doing Busted covers, where they're making Year 3000 an appropriate song on Disney Channel, and where they're doing SOS and Hold On and Mandy, all of those. Like
I feel you. I originally
had SOS. SOS is one of the peak ones for me. I remember back when my brother was watching like Disney Channel and stuff. I watched some too, and then when they used to have music videos in between, from like you'd get like the Miley Cyrus and the Jonas Brothers, and then they'd come on with SOS and Hold On were the big ones, and also Year 3000, which arguably Year 3000 Busted did the original version of. Same with What I Go to School For, and then Jonas Brothers just did more PG versions of them, because Year 3000 Busted's version talks about triple-breasted women. Jonas Brothers version talks about girls with long hair. What I Go to School For talks about like she bends down and shows me more in Busted's version, and the Jonas Brothers version talks about I don't know, but definitely not that. So that was like when they were in their purity ring era and all that shit.
Right.
That was the thing. But like the old school Jonas Brothers, it's just like Pete guilty pleasure. Because when you love someone and they break your heart, don't give up on love. Have faith, restart, just hold on.
I got him to sing twice in one night. Oh no, it was like 3 times in one night.
Yeah. Well, when it's the Jonas Brothers, you just can't help it.
That was good. That's a good choice. I like the old school Joe Bros too. I'm not a fan of their like more recent stuff, but it just sounds to me like it just sounds like everybody else. It's nothing like there's nothing special about them. They have good voices, but
like I get artist music needs to mature as you get older too.
Yeah, I know. Look, they're grown men now. You are now
married. To Sophie Turner, Priyanka Chopra, and like all these people. Like
you can't get by as a 30-year-old man doing what they did in the 2000s. You can't do that. So it's a time and place. But there's something nostalgic about it.
It really is.
Just like for me, it's the 90s. It's the nostalgia for me.
Get that.
Live in it. I live in it. Mm-hmm. Well, that was good. I like that category. I think we went over the time that we were supposed to go, but
we did. It was a longer episode. But like you said, these aren't supposed to be many episodes. It's both of us. Smash. But the longer they are, the more longer it takes me to edit, which is a mixed bag. So, because I'm lazy. Be right. Yes. I found out one of the guys on our team is quitting, and so more work for everyone else. Yay.
All right.
Yay, work fun. Stuff. Yeah.
Good time.
But I passed my probation date, so now it's much harder for them to fire me. So that's always a plus.
Mm-hmm. So let's see him try.
Yeah. No, let's not.
But in case your boss is listening right now, please don't try to fire him.
Please don't try. All right. I think that like good. You said, we've already gone kind of long. I think that does it for this episode. Raley, any final thoughts? And then you can close this out.
My final thoughts are, we are badass, and this was a fun episode. We should do this more often. And on that note, Matt, you're awesome. Raley, you're awesome. Thank you. I know. Listeners, you're awesome. If you're out there, hello. And thanks for tuning in. This was fun. We'll see you next week on Down Once More. Don't forget to go down once more. Peace.
Later.